Hello everyone on Football Overseas YouTube channel. My name is Honeygun and I'm here today to give you guys some predictions for Liga Portugal match week 4. It's got some big games in here, some tasty fixtures. If you want to enjoy, do free to leave a like and subscribe to Football Overseas, do some brilliant content. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. I've got the Benfica shirt on and we start with the Benfica game. It is Benfica travelling to Moreirense away from home. Now, start with the host Moreirense. Their season so far, they have got 6 points out of a possible 9. So they beat Firenze away 2-1, and then they beat Arouca at home 3-1. And then recently they lost 3-1 away to a good Braga side. Benfica, they got 6 points from 9 as well. On the opening day, they lost 2-0 away to Famalicão, which was a bit of a shock. But then they got back to winning ways, beating Casapia at home 3-0, and they also beat Estrela on Madeira at home 1-0 as well. So yeah, I think this is going to be a good game, but I've just backed Benfica to win by 2-1. Next game to predict is Santa Clara going against AVS. Santa Clara, to start their season, they beat Estoril 4-1 away, which is a good result for them. But then they lost 2-0 to Porto at home, good Porto side, and then they beat Casapia away 2-0. So they've had a good start to the season, 6 points from possible 9. AVS on their opening game, they drew with Nacional at home 1-0. Then they lost 4-2 away to Gil Vicente, but then they did beat Vitória SC at home 1-0. So they've had a decent start, 4 points so far. And I think they get another point here. I'm going to say it's going to be Santa Clara 1, AVS 1. We move to Boa Vista, going against Estoril. We just talked about Estoril, but let's focus on Boa Vista first. Boa Vista, they beat Casapia 1-0 away from home to start their season. But then they've followed that up with 2 defeats on the bounce, losing to Braga home 1-0 and losing to Famalicão away 1-0. Estoril, they are yet to win a game so far this season. They lost to Santa Clara at home 4-1, and they lost 1-0 away to Vitória SC, and then they drew at home 0-0 with Gil Vicente. So Estoril, confidence looks very low for them at the moment. So in this game, I think Boa Vista get back to winning ways. I'm going to say a 3-1 win to Boa Vista in this one. Then we go to Estrela Amadora going against Casapia. Now, both these sides have not had a good start to the season. Estrela Amadora, they drew with Braga away 1-1, which is a good result for them to start the season. But then they've followed up with 2 defeats, 3 at home to Famalicão and 1-0 away to Benfica. They lost. Casapia, they've lost all games so far this season. They do not look the best at the moment. They lost to Boa Vista at home 1-0 in their opening game, and they lost 3-0 away to Benfica and lost 2-0 at home to Santa Clara. So yeah, they have not had a good start at all. But I don't know, in this game, I think it's going to be, it's not going to be really an exciting game. I think it's going to be a 0-0 draw between Estrela Amadora and Casapia. I think Estrela Amadora maybe lacking a little bit of not quality, creativity, because they've recently lost Ronaldo, I think it is. You know, he was on loan there up until January last season from Grêmio and Anápolis, I think in Brazil. But then he went back to Brazil in January and recently signed for Championship club Swansea, and he's looked very good for Swansea so far. So I feel like we're missing that little bit of creativity in the midfield. But yeah, I'm going to say 0-0 for this one between Estrela Amadora and Casapia. Next game to predict is a big game. It is Sporting going against Porto. What a game this is going to be. Both sides have had a 100% record start to the season after 3 games. Sporting, they beat Rio Ave 3-1 at home for Dispatch Nacional away 6-1 and Firenze away 5-0. Victor Gyökeres is in the the prime of his life, really. You know, he's scored 6 goals so far, been heavily linked with moves away to the Premier League. But I think you know, his deadline there, I do think he will stay with Sporting up until January at least. But he's some player, really good finisher. Porto, they beat Gil Vicente at home 3-0 for beating Santa Clara away 2-0, Rio Ave at home 2-0. So yeah, they have not conceded a goal yet, Porto, but I do think that will change in this game. I'm going for a very entertaining game. I'm going for both sides to cancel each other out. I'm going for a 2-2 draw. the Estadio Jose Alvede, I do believe it's called, correct me if I'm wrong, but been there actually for a game last season against Firenze. They won 3-2 Sporting, that was a good game. But we move on to Nacional going against Firenze. Just talking about Firenze just then, but Nacional, they drew 1-1 away to AVS in their opening game before losing 6-1 at home to Sporting. Sporting are a really good side though. They lost 1-0 away to Arouca. Firenze, they lost 2-1 at home to Moreirense, and then they lost 1-0 away to Rio Ave, and then they lost 5-0 at home to Sporting. So they've had a tough start to the season as well. Firenze, I think in this game between these two sides, it's going to be a 1-1 draw. Next game to predict is Rio Ave going against Arouca. I think this could be a decent game. Rio Ave, they had a fairly tough start to the season. They've won 1 game but lost 2. They lost 3-1 away to Sporting on the opening day. Then they beat Firenze 1-0 at home. But then they lost 2-0 away to Porto again. So yeah, it's been a mixed bag for Rio Ave. Arouca, they lost on the opening day 1-0 at home to Vitória SC, and then they lost 3-1 away to Moreirense then, but then they beat Nacional at home 1-0. So yeah, it's been a bit of a mixed bag start to the season for both these clubs. But in terms of this game, I think it's going to be a really good game, really high scoring. I've just backed the home side, Rio Ave, for a 3-2 win in this one. And go to Gil Vicente going against Braga next. Gil Vicente, start their season, they lost 3-0 away to Porto. That was a tough start for them. And then they beat Arouca, I think it was, ABS. They beat ABS, yeah, sorry, I remember now. Beat ABS 4-2 at home. And then they drew 0-0 away to Estoril. So decent start to the season for them. Braga, they had, an unbeaten start. They drew 1-1 at home to Estrela Amadora on the opening day. And they beat Boavista away 1-0, and they beat Moreirense 3-1 at home. So Braga, they're looking really good in their groove. I think there's going to be a 2-0 win, away win for Braga. And then the last game, I do believe it is Vitória SC going against Famalicão. Vitória SC, they beat Arouca away 1-0 to start the season. And then they beat Estoril at home 1-0. But then they lost 1-0 away to ABS. So they've had a pretty decent start, only losing 1 game so far. Famalicão, they've got a 100% record so far. They beat Benfica home 2-0, which was a really good result. Then they beat Estrela Amadora 3-0 away. Then they beat Boavista 1-0 at home, so they had a really good start. But I feel like Vitória SC is going to be another tough test. I feel like, they're going to be hard to break down for this Famalicão side. So I've gone for a 1-1 draw. But that concludes my predictions, guys, for this round of fixtures for the Liga Portugal games. Get your score predictions down in the comments, and make sure to smash a like, subscribe to Football Overseas, and yeah, see you guys later. Take care. Goodbye.